Our next guests represent Wesley Palms, a front porch community in San Diego off Mount Soledad. Our first guest is Michael Peluso. He is an Associate Senior Project Manager with MW Steel Group. And our second guest is Ben Geske, who is the Executive Director at Wesley Palms.
Welcome, Michael and Ben. Thank you for being here today. And before we get into the questions, I am thrilled to announce that the National Association of Home Builders has awarded the Wesley Palms community the 2016 Gold Award for Best 55-Plus Independent Living Community on the board. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, Michael, let's start with you. Have you had the opportunity to ever work on such a unique project?
You know, Wesley Palms, when it came to our office at MW Steel Group, it was really a rare and unique opportunity because, you know, the 50-plus years of Wesley Palms, there's so much character and history that have been built into that. And when you start on an architectural project, you might not necessarily have all that history and character already built into what you're going to reimagine and revitalize. It really is a rare opportunity to take a campus like Wesley Palms and breathe new life and help emphasize all the beautiful things that make it a wonderful place.
Tell us a little bit about the uniqueness that you found when you started this project at Wesley Palms.
Wesley Palms is a community that was built a little over 50 years ago, and it was built in the modernist style of that era, which we now refer to as mid-century modern. And it really was a great example of that style of architecture, especially the centerpiece of the campus, which is a 6-story main building. And then it's surrounded by a number of cottages over the 35 acres. And the architecture was a great catalyst for our thought process in the reimagination of the campus. One of the other aspects of the campus is the park-like setting. And with the architecture and the landscape as a starting point for the renovation, we had two things that we really wanted to enhance and not detract from. And working with Ben and his team at Wesley Palms, we did a lot of study and analysis of the architecture of that era because we wanted to not erase that character of Wesley Palms, but enhance it. And we studied the surrounding neighborhoods. We studied great examples of architecture of that style from all over California, because mid-century modern is really an iconic style for Southern California.
And that's so true. I encourage anybody to do a drive-by just to see the iconic architecture, even if you're 20 years old and you're not involved with senior stay or go concerns. It's just it's really an historic situation today, I would say. Just what is the curious build-out time for Wesley Palms?
Well, we were looking at it's really a 5-year process. We're about a year into it now, and we're doing a phased approach. So we isolate certain areas, we revitalize, revamp it, open it up, and move on to the next. So it's a rolling renovation across the 35 acres, and that's really what takes the 5 years to accomplish, because we want to make sure Wesley Palms is open and not down for any great length of time.
Thriving for all those that are living there.
Yeah.
Give us a background. What's been most rewarding for you as you've gone through this process?
Well, at MW Steel Group, we have a philosophy of our project should serve the community in which it's built for. And working with the folks at Wesley Palms and giving them an amazing place to live, a barrier-free environment where their living environment can adapt to them, and hearing the feedback from the residents already as they see them, it's really rewarding to see all the planning and thoughtfulness that we've done in collaboration with Ben and his team at Wesley Palms, to see the fruits of that labor with the reactions of the residents, to really hear some glowing comments about how they enjoy the new spaces and walking in and seeing them for the first time, and that's really been rewarding.
Are the residents coming up to you and just excited and anticipating?
When I have had the chance, when they find out who I am, yes, that's happened.
You have the hard hat on.
Yeah, I try to blend in with the rest of the crew, but when my cover's blown, then they.
Well, I think it's very exciting what's going there. Patty and I have had the opportunity to tour the community, and it really is California at its finest. And I'm so appreciative that you guys have collaborated together to really make it what it will be in the future. Ben, what is unique about Wesley Palms for you as the executive director?
You know, from a people point of view, from a people perspective, one of the things that I love about my job is getting to know the residents. And the interesting residents we've had over the years is pretty incredible, from generals to admirals to attorneys to best-selling authors to musicians. And it's really interesting because what I like to do is I like to sit and talk with the residents, either just in the hallway and I have lunch with residents several times each week. And the majority of the residents don't really talk per se about what they did. You kind of have to pull it out of them, but you find out some of the most incredible things that people have done. And so definitely the people is what makes Wesley Palms such a great community. And also, you know, it's a pretty, if I can use the word, laid back feel. People kind of come and go.
It is Southern California.
It is Southern California. We're not, you know, we're a beautiful community, as you've alluded to, but we also like to keep it light, and most of the staff know all of the residents, which is pretty incredible. So it's a pretty great place to work.
We know every great community, such as Wesley Palms, is top-down driven from the executive director and the management. What do you do with your staff to get that feel so that everybody just feels, you know, as one at Wesley Palms?
You know, that's a really great question. You know, well, first of all, I inherited a great staff. I mean, I've got staff that have been with us for over 30 years, over 20 years. I was talking to Michael earlier. We have one staff member who has been with us for 36 or 7 years. And his father actually helped construct Wesley Palms way back in the late 50s, early 60s. And, you know, I mean, I've always felt that as an executive director, my biggest job is to hire and maintain good staff. Because if you've got good staff, everything just falls into place. And what we look for people who care about our seniors and who want to work at Wesley Palms. And when you find the right people, sure, you have to train them in their jobs, but they will just kind of, their loving compassion and interest in the residents come forward. And before long, we have a community of staff and residents and families that know everybody. And so it's a nice environment.
You can tell that just by walking around.
Yeah,
Everybody,
thank you.
It's really fabulous. So what are you looking forward to most when 5 years down the road when this project is completed? Not that we don't love Michael, I understand that.
Yeah, well, first of all, I do want to give a shout out to Michael and MW Steel. They've been
Definitely.
fantastic to work with. We worked with MW Steel about almost 2 years ago. We opened up a memory care community called Summer House at Wesley Palms, and it's a truly one of a kind, unique community. And so we work with MW Steel as well as New Era Construction, who's the contractor on the job as well. We talked about how we've been around for over 50 years, and one of the reasons. So I've been at Wesley Palms for about 8.5 years, and when I first, like the first day I was there, my boss said, "You're next, Ben. We're going to be redoing your campus." And of course, it took a little bit longer to get there. But what I'm most happy about is that we're going to be able to position ourselves to be around for another 50 years. The patio homes that are being built are just extraordinary. They're beautiful, with the nod to the past, but with current amenities. You know, I think I'm just looking forward to being able to be around for another decades to come.
I'm looking forward to signing up.
Yeah, we'll have a place for you.
Thank you. Thank you both for being here. Stick around. We have more great guests coming up to lead you to the highest quality of life. Seniors, stay or go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.